Okay, so I was out here the other day. I'm at just a church parking lot, and I couldn't help but notice this bristlecone pine in front of me. They plant these a lot here in Rexburg, and one of the things that makes these trees really unique is they have a tendency to stay rather small like this. I mean, you'll get them 2 to 3 times its height, but that's really not very tall. One of the things that makes this particular tree pretty easy to identify is the bristly cones. We got one right over here. So here's one. You can see on here you can see these spikes that you get on the cones, and you can feel them too when you go to grab these. Oh, here's a great example. You get this sap that'll come right out. Oh, there it is. And just like how you get that sap on the cones, if we look at this, the needles here, you can see, if you look very closely, these little sap bubbles just coming out of the needles directly. That's not any bad health of the tree by any means, but that is just the way this tree grows. It happens to hold its needles a little longer, so you get this much more full look to the canopy. I mean, just very bushy, very fluffy even, you can say. Now, the reason this particular one caught my eye today is because we've got some new cones starting to grow out right now, and they get this really bright purple blue color. So there's one. Let's see if we've got another one right here. Very cool tree. Like I said, it's something that's planted a lot out here in Rexburg. Oh, here's another immature cone that's kind of in between. So here we can see 3 different stages of the cone development. Here's kind of the stage of the cone first starting to come out, get that purple color. This is still underdeveloped, but it's getting there. And then here is more of a spent cone that has passed all stages of its lifespan. There's 1 year, there's 2 years, there's a 3rd year there, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and here on year number 8, it's finally shedding off these old pine needles that it no longer needs. So a lot of other pine trees will shed them after 2 or 3 years, but 7 to 8 years to hold on to its needles, I mean, that's really what gives it this thick, fluffy look. So there are multiple trees that fall under the name bristlecone pine, and this one is Pinus aristata. It's not to be confused with Pinus longeva, I believe is the pronunciation. That is actually going to be found in Nevada, up high in the mountains. It's the longest living tree that we have on the planet. This one will still live for centuries, not quite as long as the other, but Pinus aristata is used a lot more commonly for, well, things like this, landscaping, and maybe purchased at nurseries, just because of a lot of its growth habits and its size. So very easy to maintain tree and easy to work with. One of the other unique ways to identify this tree, you get these short needles, and they come in groups of 5. So if you separate these a little bit, you'll see here that these are coming in bundles of 5. I know some of them look like 2s, but once you actually break them up a little bit, you'll see that they are in fact in groups of 5. So, and most pines are either going to be 2s, 3s, or 5s. Very rarely do we get other numbers outside of 2s, 3s, and 5s. There is a pinyon pine that I'm aware of that's a single needle, but I don't know of any 4s. But rule of thumb, 2s, 3s, and 5s.